practice. Our first tackling periods were today, and it was exciting to see us get after it. Offense responded from Friday's lackluster effort and thought competed a lot better today. The running backs really had a good day running the football. So positive things to take out of it for sure. Obviously, when we watch the film here in a little bit, we'll see a bunch of negatives too, I'm sure. But just out there, I did see some positives.
All right, thank you, Coach. If you got a question for Coach Freeze, please use the raise hand option, and we'll get to you.
All right.
Let's go Anthony Romano with WDBJ. Anthony, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how's it going? Thanks for the time this morning. Or I guess
Good,
this
man.
afternoon.
Thank you.
Obviously, I know on Friday there was a comment you made about testing that sort of blew up with some of your ACC opponents this week. Could you kind of maybe clear it up a little bit, maybe what conversations you or your program has maybe had with some of those programs maybe since then?
Yeah, I don't. I'm sure our athletic director has those conversations. I'm not in those. I would just simply say I think that anyone, and certainly I say things sometimes that in when you take them in just a brief sentence can be taken a lot of different ways. But anyone that would think that we're not following our team doctor's recommendations, and I'm a football coach, I'm not a doctor, but anyone that would think we don't have a set of protocols to follow in this set of times and that we're certainly following them, just really hasn't taken the time to research it and to know it. And certainly I've got to say things more properly, but I'm very confident in what our administration and our team doctors have put in place for protocols for us. And we actually issued them out, I issued them out through Twitter, and I think we issued them out so they can take the time and go read them if they'd like to, but I'm confident in our people.
Next question from Damian Sordelet, Lynchburg News in Advance.
Coach, Scott Simons on Friday said we need to ask you about the status of Aubrey Williams, the redshirt freshman linebacker.
Yeah, he's no longer on our roster.
All right, John Manson from Sea of Red.
Hey, Coach, with the season approximately a month away, give or take, how difficult is it to prepare for a season when you don't know who your first opponent necessarily is or when that first date actually is?
Well, that's a great question, and I was going to tell y'all today because I think we're going to slow down some of these media meetings because we're just so far out, man. It's just and people are, I'd really just want to focus on our team. But our opener right now is September the 19th at Western Kentucky, and so we're still a ways away, and that's why we're really not even in fall camp, so to speak, right now. We're taking another week this week to treat it sort of like spring ball, and with a lot of meetings and walkthroughs and a few practices here, and then when we get our 4 weeks out from game time, or 3 weeks, we'll definitely ratchet it up some. But currently it's September the 19th at Western Kentucky.
Coach, Nick Pierce, I got one for you. Just with that being said, I mean, have you ever experienced a fall camp or preseason practice like this before? And how do you kind of adjust on the fly with everything changing so often?
Never have, never experienced it. Don't have the perfect plan for it, for sure. So you kind of take week by week, and I think you just communicate with your kids a lot and with your staff on, I don't want to practice anymore. So a normal camp, getting ready for a game, you're going to have anywhere between 25 and 27 practices typically. Some may do a few more, but I've never been I like around 25 is kind of the number. And so we're still going to get those same numbers. We're just spreading them out a lot more, and certainly having a few more walkthroughs. But I think you just got to judge the pulse of your team. The last thing you want is your team to look at you after 3 weeks of doing something and them say when we have 3 more weeks before we have an opportunity to play. And so I don't want it to be that way. So I really have a group of kids that I bring in and talk through week by week and say, what does this look like to you guys? Because, we are kind of going at this, in the dark, so to speak. So just to communicate with our kids a lot. And so far, I think they've liked the schedule we have.
Next question from Damien, News in Advance.
Coach, what's transpired recently between tentatively opening September 12th at home to now opening up on September 19th?
Yeah, I think, Ian is, I'm sure we're getting close to probably putting something out in his discussions with all the teams and trying to make sure the schedule doesn't have 3 open dates in it. If you start this time and if you move this game to this point, you only have 2, which is better, and gives you more flexibility and fitting other people's schedules so that they have games. I think all of that's gone into where we are today with having the 19th as the opener. But as I told our parents, we currently have a really good 10-game schedule that when I look at the schedule on paper, and I'm sure again that we're probably getting close to maybe releasing something on that.
John from C of Red, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, with your losses at linebacker that you already had from last year, and now with Williams no longer part of the team and Amari Jenkins getting injured, how's the rest of that room coming along? I know you said it was already a thin room.
It's a very thin room that we've got to address in recruiting for sure. I've been really pleased with Aaron Pierre and Staples, and I think Butler's going to be really solid, and then we're starting to beyond that. We got to bring some of those young kids along, like Capers and some of the others. But Carl Poole has shown some signs. DJ Humes has shown some signs in early practices that they could possibly add some depth there. So it's definitely a room that's a work in progress for sure, and we've got to add some depth as soon as we get back to recruiting.
Let's go back to Damien now.
May even move. You got some other options like Jolly's gotten bigger and stronger. He's a good physical player. So we'll look at all options to add depth to it.
I'll piggyback off John's question about Amari Jenkins' injury. Scott referenced Friday it could be a season ender. What have you been told by the team doctors?
We're waiting to hear officially, but I think the first indication we got that it was a shot that he could possibly be back toward the end of the season. Again, I'm gonna have to wait for them to tell me that. I think there's a possibility he could, though.
Let's go back to Anthony from WDBJ.
Coach, I noticed you've kind of been somewhat active on social media talking about how your program and maybe other independents should be involved in any sort of college football playoff, whatever that looks like this year. In your eyes, with the current state of the college football landscape, what do you think that playoff landscape does look like this year?
Well, I don't want to mislead anyone. I'm not saying that we deserve to be in any playoff or anything at this point in our program. I just think we need to be in the discussions that we want to play. And we're open to playing anyone, anytime, anywhere. So it's not. I just want to be in those discussions of playing. I'm certainly not saying that we measure up, or I know people attack me saying you're not quite ready for that, and we may not be. I don't know. I just know our kids want to play and we want to coach, and so I like to be included in any discussions, as I'm sure Army and BYU would also, who want to continue to play. So, man, what the playoffs look like, I'm not the one to ask that question to. I have no clue. I think all of us right now that are trying to pull this off are, number one, what's the safest way that makes it possible, and we're hopeful that as we progress to students coming back to campuses and things. And we follow all the protocols that the doctors for every institution have put in place. We're hopeful that we can pull it off, and I just want us to be in those discussions of don't forget we want to play.
Let's go back to John.
Coach, as you look back over the first, couple weeks of practice or so, is there a guy or maybe a couple guys on either side of the ball that you'd be able to highlight as maybe somebody that's stuck out to you or surprised you the most in their development from the spring or from last year?
First two that just pop in my mind from today's practice are John Graham on the offensive line and Aaron Pierre on at linebacker. I think I had Aaron figured wrong a little bit last year, and I've been really pleasantly surprised with his work ethic and his determination to get better. And John's got a chance to be pretty special offensive lineman.
Let's go to Jermaine Farrell, FXR Roanoke.
Good afternoon, Coach. Good seeing you as usual.
You too, brother.
Sir, I got to ask you, just talk a little about Javon Scruggs as a player for your team and your program.
Yeah, leader. I mean, he's one that when I went on the field today and we were, because team meetings right now are very different for me. I mean, I used to love getting our team in a room together, and man, I can sense them and I can see them and I can feel them and I can talk to them about here's our message for the day. And now it's hard to do that because of social distancing, and we'd have to put them in the stadium or somewhere, and that's just kind of a hassle to do that every day. You do that some, so now they're kind of on the field when I get a mic and we space everybody out. But he's the first one I go to, like today, after that to kind of judge where we are. He's a leader, one of the most solid tacklers that I've coached, can play every safety position that we have. He's really, really valuable to us. We need him to be healthy all year long.
Damian, go ahead.
And Coach, you've mentioned students returning to campus. We've seen some photos over social media from like the Alabama AD down in Chapel Hill with North Carolina about about students returning and congregating. What have you done with the players and their message about staying in this bubble so that way they're staying safe and staying on course for playing this football season?
Yeah, there's not a day that goes by that we don't remind them that if you truly want to try to pull this off, then there are sacrifices that we have to make with our time and with things that we may want to do that are normal for a college student. You may not be able to do them this year. And I think all of us that are attempting to play, from the conferences to the independents, I think we're all kind of hinged together there a bit, and we'll be judged based on not just what we do here, but what happens at all the other individual campuses. And I know that the coaches I talk to, we're constantly reminding our guys that, look, things are getting, on some campuses they already have, but on ours it's getting ready. The population's getting ready to change. It's going to look differently, but man, we've got a plan for academics. We got a plan for tutoring. We got a plan for our eating. We got a plan for the way we practice. We're living together as roommates. So we're trying our best to form that bubble around them constantly. And can we guarantee that that's a 24-hour deal with every kid? No, but we sure hopeful that that they're heeding our warnings and making the sacrificial decisions for the best of our team.
Let's bounce it back to Jermaine from FXR.
Oh, I didn't have a question. Sorry about that. If it popped up again, I didn't have a question.
Oh, okay. All right. John from Sea of Red, go ahead.
Sorry about that, Nick. It may have been me, Eric Johnson at WSLSU.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
It's all good. I think it went under his comments. Coach, I appreciate your time this afternoon. I know you talked about some of the position groups that you have concern with. Is there any one position group that kind of sticks out in your mind that kind of has a good beat, a good rhythm on everything at this point?
That I'm concerned with, or that I feel great about?
That you feel great about?
I've said I think our running back room is strong. I think they've got a good mixture, and man, all five today in the live period had really, really good runs. So I feel really, really good about those guys, and I think our defensive line's got a chance to be pretty solid too. Not that we can't be at other places. I just think there's still some concerns at those others of just live reps and depth at those places.
All right, now, John, go ahead.
Coach, how do you personally feel today about the 2020 season? Are you confident that there will be a season that Liberty will be able to play some games as of today? I know things change so quickly.
Yeah, I've kind of conditioned myself. I have a lot of weaknesses and a lot of strengths, but one of my strengths is I can kind of condition my mind to just worry about what today brings. And this week, man, we're blessed and fortunate to practice, and in the anticipation of getting an opportunity to represent our great university on the football field. And as of today, that is a go, and that's the only thing in my mind can condition itself to believe, or I'm going to waste some precious moments today. I told our team, I was looking at the Fairfield Inn up on the mountain, and one of my daughters sent me one of the, I don't understand it, but something pops up on your phone from a memory or from a day or something that's similar to what you're on. I don't know, um, but man, this time last year I was battling another battle, and I will not. I'm thankful. I'm grateful that we got to practice today together. I'm grateful that as of today we're pressing forward to try to and play the game we all love. Am I the expert on whether or not that should happen when that time comes? No, I'm not. But I just know I'm blessed to be able to try to prepare these guys for that anticipated event whenever it does happen. And I'm certainly hopeful today. I'm more hopeful probably today than I was 3 weeks ago. But again, man, I'm a football coach. I don't. There's a lot of people a lot more prepared and that will help us make those decisions.
All right, back to Damien. You're up.
Coach, you said Friday you weren't pleased with the offense, particularly from how the quarterbacks were making the wrong reads. Some wide receivers weren't running the right route trees. How much did film study, walkthroughs, and stuff? How did that contribute to the offense seeming to look better today?
Yeah, I think anytime you are able to go see your mistakes, I believe this in life that there's a lot more to learn from the times you failed than the times you succeed if it's handled correctly. And I thought that the coaches and kids did a nice job of film on Friday and then walk through and film on Saturday of correcting some of the issues we saw Friday, and they definitely were more improved today in the team periods.
How do the quarterbacks look in particular? Did anyone stand out, or is it the competition still there for who's going to get the most
Yeah,
reps at one?
it's definitely there. I mean, it's back and forth, and still need more consistency from both of them, particularly in the passing game.
Coach, you say you guys went tempo again today, or?
Not against each other, no, but we did do our tempo period individually today, so we're starting to get ready to ramp that up. Dom has kind of given us a program to make sure we're where we need to be physically before we really get into that. Today was the first day we did that individual. We'll come together with the defense, I think, on Friday for one of our red ball periods.
Got time for one or two more. Damien, go ahead.
And back to the scheduling change, is it advantageous to have the season pushed back an additional week just to see how things materialize with like the saliva testing that the USDA just granted approval for, to see if that helps with keeping kids safe and also making sure the climate's right for a football season?
Again, I'm not the one to comment on testing because I don't know what exactly is going on with that, other than we're going to participate in whatever testing that they recommend for us. But as far as is it advantageous to push the season back, I don't know that anyone can say that with 100% certainty, but it certainly feels right. It feels like the right thing to do with gives us just some more time to not only prepare, but really to prepare for what is around the corner. Are there curveballs that are coming, or are there positives that are coming? Is there something that is going to come down, in a week or two that that makes it harder to prepare. I don't know those, so I think it just gives you a little more time to breathe and to not feel like we don't have some time, to prepare adequately for whatever does come.
All right. Anything further for Coach?
I got one more. You mentioned Friday, Demario Douglas would be back today. Was he back in practice?
He was in a blue jersey, which means non-contact. But yes, he was out there, but he did not go in the team drills. But in all the individual, he'll work his way back in this week with whatever our trainers say.
Speaking of injuries, anyone get back from injuries or anyone hurt over the weekend?
No, we were blessed. Elisha Mitchell and Perkins are still working their way through that acclimatization period, but both I think will be ready to go by Friday. So nobody got hurt today that I know of.